This video is going to show you how to identify outliers and see what happens when you remove them from your calculations. So if you make a scatter plot from that data, and you can see there is this kind of obvious outlier way up here. The age of car that was 4 years old but had a repair cost of $32,000 is much higher than the other cars that were 4 years old, so that's an outlier. So if I leave that outlier in, and if I calculate the correlation, so you gotta highlight the Y column, comma, highlight the X column, I get a correlation of 0.28, which is not very good, even though there's an obvious trend here, if we ignore that outlier. So if I just, first I'm going to copy this data below, and then I'm going to remove the outlier, and if I do the correlation again, but with this new set of data, then you'll see a much different number for the correlation. And now I get 0.96. So a very strong positive trend. And it doesn't mean we should ignore this outlier. It's still an important data point. We'd want to go check our data and see, okay, was this car, was there something unique about it, or was there an error in the recording of the data? So you can't just completely ignore the outlier, but you can remove it, calculate the correlation, and compare the two. It also has a big effect on the line of best fit for making predictions. So if I edit my chart, and if I go to Customize, Series, add Trend Line, and change my label to Use Equation, that is my line of best fit. So I could use that to make predictions. I'm not sure if I'm going to make the best predictions with it because this outlier is dragging that line of best fit. But if I delete that point from the graph, then you'll see how the line of best fit has changed. It's a much better representation, and if I was going to make predictions using these values, those predictions are likely to be much more accurate.